From a travel trailer whose sidewall bubbles within a year, to a fifth wheel whose frame cracks at the welds, the most trusted names in RVs are watching their reputations come apart at the seams. Forest River alone has issued more recalls than any car maker or RV maker in the past decade. But here's what separates this. The failures aren't random. They trace back to choices made to sell more units. These are 10 reasons modern RVs are falling apart. Number 10, the maintenance schedule that hides the real problem. Every laminated RV depends on a thin bead of sealant to stay watertight, lap sealant on the roof seams, caulk around every window, gaskets at every slide. The manual tells you to inspect and reseal it once or twice a year, and if you do exactly that, you assume you're protected. But that sealant is the only thing standing between the weather and a wall built out of wood and foam. Miss one hairline gap for one rainy season, and water is already inside the structure before a single stain shows up on the ceiling. It doesn't even need a leak. Condensation trapped in the wall over one cold winter does the same work. Older campers with aluminum skin over a real frame could shrug off moisture for years. The modern sandwich wall cannot because the wood core soaks it up and the foam holds it there against the studs. By the time you notice, the repair isn't a tube of sealant, it's a torn open wall. The schedule makes you feel covered while the margin for a single missed seam has shrunk to almost nothing. And the real question, how forgiving is this thing? Never appears anywhere in the manual. Number 9, the slide out. On paper, it's the best feature in the modern RV. Push a button and the living room grows by 3 feet. But a slide out is a hole cut into the side of a box that's supposed to be weatherproof, filled with a motorized room riding on gears, seals, and rails that have to shove hundreds of pounds out and then seal tight against rain. Older trailers didn't have them, and older trailers didn't have this failure mode. Lippert's Schwintek system, used across dozens of brands, built a reputation for failing after surprisingly little use, especially on 2021 and 2022 units. Owners report bills between $1,500 and $2,500, and a full slide repair can climb toward $5,000 once a torn seal has let water rot the floor underneath. And here's the part that stings. For some of those slides, Lippert stopped selling the spare parts, so one worn component means replacing the entire mechanism. The extra room is real. So is the bill when the room refuses to come back in. Number 8, the laminated wall itself. Walk any dealer lot and knock on a sidewall. That smooth fiberglass skin is glued to a sheet of thin Luan plywood, bonded to a block of foam, pressed onto aluminum studs, the whole sandwich cured together under pressure. It's light, it's cheap to build, and it insulates well. It replaced heavier walls of aluminum hung over a frame, walls that physically could not delaminate. The trade-off is bonded right into the glue line. The moment water reaches that wood layer, the adhesive lets go, and the fiberglass skin pulls away from everything behind it. You see it first as a bubble or a wave rolling down the side of the rig. By then, the wood inside is already rotting, and the resale value is already gone. A professional panel replacement runs from $5,000 to well over $10,000, and here's the tell. Most extended warranties specifically refuse to cover delamination at all, when the people selling the warranty won't insure a failure. That tells you exactly how often they expect it to happen. Number 7, the weight on the brochure. The single number that sells a travel trailer is its advertised dry weight, because a low number lets a family with a half-ton truck or an SUV believe they can tow it home. That number is a fiction of convenience. Dry weight leaves out your fresh water, your propane, your batteries, your gear, and half the factory options already bolted to the unit. A fifth wheel listed at 10,800 pounds dry can cross a scale at 14,500 pounds fully loaded. Buyers do the math on the brochure, hook up, and drive off 1,000 pounds or more over their truck's real limit without ever knowing it. Every seasoned hauler will tell you never to tow past 80% of your rating because that buffer is your only margin for a mountain grade, a crosswind, or a panic stop. Overload it, and you're leaning on undersized brakes and cheap trailer tires with nothing left in reserve, which is exactly how a blowout on the interstate turns into a rig on its side. And salespeople get swept up in it too, quoting you the dry weight because it closes the deal, not because it reflects a single mile you'll actually drive. The industry handed you a number engineered to erase that buffer before you ever left the lot. Number 6, the incredible shrinking frame. Underneath almost every towable sits a steel frame, and most of them come from one supplier, Lippert. Line up a Lippert frame from the mid-2000s next to one built today, and the difference jumps out. The new one is dramatically lighter, thinner steel, less of it, engineered so buyers can pull a bigger floor plan behind a smaller truck. Lighter steel flexes and flex concentrates at the welds. Owners across Grand Design, Keystone, and Forest River have found cracks opening at the welds near the slide-outs and at the spring hangers, usually spotted first as a crack running through the exterior skin. In the worst cases, the pin box, the part that actually holds the trailer to the truck, begins to shift. And the frame often carries its own separate warranty from the coach, so when it cracks, the frame maker and the RV maker point at each other while you sit in the shop. There's an entire cottage industry now selling reinforcement kits to weld onto a brand new frame, which is a strange thing to need on something you just financed for a decade. It comes straight from the drive to make the trailer lighter. There's a saying in every RV forum that fits. They aren't built like they used to be. Here the frame proves it, in steel. Number 5, the parts are all the same parts. RV buyers shop brands as if the brand builds the rig. Mostly it just assembles it. The frame, the slides, the awning, the jacks, the steps, the furniture, huge portions of what actually fails on your camper, come from a small handful of suppliers, and Lippert alone owns Furrion, Girard, Thomas Paine, and more. So the exact slide motor that died on a budget trailer is often the identical unit bolted into a luxury fifth wheel 3 times the price. Spending more moves you up in cabinetry, in countertops, in the badge on the door. It does not move you to a better frame or a better slide. This is why the quality problem is systemic and not a matter of picking the right name. When one supplier's part carries a weakness, that weakness ships inside nearly every brand on the lot at the same time, and no amount of brand loyalty roots around it. Number 4, the electrical shortcuts. A modern RV is packed with wiring, and much of it is run fast, by hand, under a clock. When a factory hits a parts shortage, the pressure is to substitute and keep the line moving. In 2023, Forest River recalled 50 towable campers after workers installed the wrong fuse in the power center, creating a fire risk. And the reason was simply that the correct fuse had run out. That isn't a freak accident. It's the predictable output of a system that rewards finishing the unit over finishing it right. For the owner, it shows up as the fault no shop can pin down. An outlet with no power because a worker rolled up a dead wire and capped it off rather than fall behind. A circuit that works until the day it doesn't. The wiring failures are quiet, intermittent, and maddening, and they were built in at the station, weeks before you ever picked up the keys. Number 3, the mistakes sealed inside. This is where a trusted reputation starts to crack. From 2015 to 2024, Forest River issued more recalls than any car company or any RV maker in America, averaging around 50 a year. And a Wall Street Journal investigation found that many came not from bad parts, but from plain human error on the line. Microwaves punctured by screws that were the wrong length. Furnace flues left misaligned, caught only a month after the inspector who was supposed to check them had already quit. These aren't clever design flaws. They are ordinary mistakes assembled into a finished product and shipped anyway. And this is a company owned by Berkshire Hathaway, so if even Warren Buffett's money and management can't keep metal shavings and wrong screws out of the build, the problem isn't one bad brand. Once a mistake like that is closed up inside a wall or a cabinet, you won't find it on the showroom floor. You find it a year later on a back road when something quits and a technician opens it up and just shakes his head. Number 2, the people building it and the speed they're pushed at. Roughly 85% of America's RVs are hand-assembled in and around Elkhart, Indiana, and many of those workers are paid by the unit, not by the hour. Sit with what that incentive does. Every minute you slow down to do the job right is money taken out of your own pocket. Then came the pandemic boom. Demand exploded, factories hired fast and trained little, leaned on just-in-time parts that kept running short, and dealers began describing the incoming quality as horrendous, some calling it the worst they had seen in 30 years. Buyers waited 5 months and longer for warranty repairs because the same parts needed to fix a broken camper were being pulled to build a brand new one. An entire wave of rigs earned a nickname owners still trade on the lot COVID campers, the ones you learned to walk past. And the next entry is the reason none of this was really an accident. Number 1, lighter and cheaper on purpose. Every failure on this list circles back to a single strategy. The industry needed to sell more RVs to more people, so it chased two numbers at once: a lower price on the sticker and a lower weight on the brochure. Lower weight opened the market to everyone with a half-ton truck and a dream. Lower cost widened the buyer pool further still. So the frame got thinner, the walls got lighter, the parts got cheaper, and the line got faster, and every one of those choices worked on paper. What got engineered away in the process was the durability margin, the quiet overbuilding that once let a rig survive a missed seam, a rough road, a hot afternoon, or a skipped inspection. Older campers were heavy, simple, and forgiving. Modern ones are light, complicated, and unforgiving, and the instant any single thing slips, the failure arrives faster and hits harder than it ever would have a generation ago. These rigs really are impressive machines, packed with more space and more features than anything from the era people feel nostalgic for. The only question that matters is whether anyone ever told the buyer what got traded away to build them. Not the salesman, not the brochure, not the owner's manual, and that conversation isn't happening in any showroom. If this cleared a few things up for you, subscribe, and I'll keep pulling these apart.